Perfect. So we can start our webinar. First of all, a very good morning, good afternoon, good evening, as per your respective time zone. Myself, Sachin Isaria. So today, guys, we will be doing a webinar on use of AI tools. So we have AI tool expert with us, Mr. Kush, who would be taking us through that how we can use the AI tool for the purpose of our day-to-day work and how we can enhance our effectiveness, how we can do our work more efficiently with the help of AI tool. So Mr. Kush is basically currently working as a senior auditor in a consulting firm where he specifically looks after the AI audit related tools. Like his main task is to automate the task as much as possible, reduce the human dependency. So he heavily works for the automations related work. And today in this webinar, he would be sharing us and he would be walking us through one of a use case, a practical use case that how we can use the AI for our audit related automation. So first of all, I would like to thanks Mr. Kush for taking us time and doing us this webinar for us. So over to you, Kush. You can just share your screen and you can start the.
Yeah, thanks. I'll quickly share my screen and we can start.
Yeah.
So, first of all, I will welcome you all in this webinar. So, this webinar is tailoring AI for a specialized task. So, ChatGPT has, or any of the Gen AI that we have in the market now, they have changed the way we approach to a task with a AI. So you have to do any research, you want to know any information, anything and everything. You don't have to scroll through n number of websites to get that information. Now the Gen AI does it for you. It is now on top of that, it is now even possible to customize Chat GPT itself for our unique needs. So in this webinar, we will explore what are custom GPTs. It is a version of ChatGPT that allows you to create your own GPT with your own set of instruction, your own set of knowledge base that you want to give it. Instead of prompting the ChatGPT or any of the Gen AI again and again from scratch every time, you can create a preloaded context-based GPT in which you can, every time you want to know something, every time you want to do that specific task, you can just write it down on that, and it will get it done for you. In this session, as Mr. Sachin said, we will also explore a practical uh, hands-on on how to create a GPT, and it will be based on the checklist-based audits. On some of the checklist-based audits are repetitive. We just have to get the evidences and we have to check it based on that checklist. So how we can automate that? Moving on next to is what are custom GPTs. So custom GPTs are basically an AI assistant that you create on top of ChatGPT. They allow you to tailor the chatbot's behavior and knowledge to suit the specific task or the domains. In practical term, a ChatGPT custom GPT is a chatbot with its own set of persistent instructions and optional reference documents. Once configured, every response it gives will follow your instructions and they use the information that you have provided rather than generic information at first. And then you have to, generally, whenever we are using a Gen AI, we have to give him multiple prompts or we have to, interact with them multiple number of times to get the desired level of output. And custom GPT solves this problem for us. This feature was introduced by OpenAI in 2023. So they also came across that many of the users maintain a list of carefully crafted prompts on GPT to get the specific task done, and then they have introduced this feature. Coming on next to is the key characteristics of GPT. Sorry. One of the characteristics is persistent role. So you define the AI role and the personality, and it will act accordingly. Let's suppose you say it is a security advisor, or you say it is an audit assistant, or you can even use your company policies and you say it is a company policy FAQ assistant. So it will help you in getting those information every time you want to know anything about it. Second is the custom knowledge base. As you upload your files, it can be maybe a policy, it can be maybe a checklist, it can maybe you can give a reference to one of links of any of your websites. It will get that information from that. The most important thing to note here is that whatever files and whatever information is being uploaded there, they should be approved from your organization, or you should have appropriate permissions to use them. Third is integrated tools. So custom GPTs have integrated tools such as code analysis. You can generate image, you can use the web search. All of these features you can use and also turn them off accordingly. Next is no coding required. As you all might know that if you want a specific kind of a AI or Gen AI to respond on a specific task, you would have to go through a whole machine learning process wherein you feed them with the data and you see the output, and then you have your own set of Gen AI for a specific task. However, custom GPT just eliminates this thing. You do not need any coding on this. You can simply write down your instructions and it will follow your lead. Next is shareable or private. You can obviously either keep that GPT only to yourself, or you can share it across your organization, share it to your friends with the link, and you can provide it access to people you choose to. You can also keep it public and you will be able to see it in a GPT store. So, if we have to summarize this, custom GPT is basically a version of ChatGPT that you control. You give it a playbook and it will follow that every time you want to know something. It is like a virtual assistant that will never forget the instructions that you have already given it to them. Next, we will discuss why this is so powerful and efficient for our complex tasks. So, why create a custom GPT? First is no repeated instructions. You don't have to give the instructions again and again to perform a specific set of tasks. Once you load the instructions and the files into it, it will follow that every time you provide them, every time you want the output. So it is good for repetitive task. It eliminates the repetitive giving of the prompt. As I said earlier as well, that many users keep their a list of carefully crafted prompts. So this custom GPT just eliminates that part. Second is consistency and quality. Because the instructions are fixed, a custom GPT gives you a consistent output in line with your requirement every time. It will maintain the same tone, terminology, standards that you set in. This will avoid the errors since the GPT can be instructed not to stray beyond the verified knowledge. Next, we move on to is focus on specific tasks. By narrowing the scope of that GPT, you avoid distractions and deliver sharper and more relevant results. For instance, an audit GPT, or else you can make a regulatory GPT. Let's suppose in India we have one of a regulator RBI. You can just give that custom GPT instruction on to only refer to the RBI website, and whenever you ask something, it will only go to that website and it will get you all the verified information. So you have just narrowed down their scope. So it does not refer to any third party websites. It will always give you only verified information, and it will stick to what instructions you have given. Next is team productivity and knowledge sharing. In an organization setting, custom GPTs can act as reusable resource for your team. Instead of each person figuring out the prompt, they can they all query the same expert assistants. For example, a data privacy GPT loaded with GDPR regulation or a DPDPA regulations that came into that have been released a few days back as well. So whole compliance team can get a quick answer, and it will always refer to the official policy or the text that you have provided. This not only save times but also keep everyone on the same page with a uniform guidance. This tool is also available 24 by 7 any time any person want to know anything and can handle multiple queries parallelly. Let's suppose if you make a GPT, data privacy GPT, and all of your team use it simultaneously, it can handle all of the queries at once. Next is automating complex tasks. So creating a specialized AI tool involve training a model on a domain data, which is costly sometimes. However, custom GPTs let you achieve that much specialization simply by configuring the existing GPT models. It is a low code, no code solution. As one report noted previously, you need costly and intensive machine learning trainings to get similar applications, but now you can develop a useful custom AI in minutes through this custom GPTs. All the complex tasks, such as as I said earlier, getting a checklist based audit, you have a specific set of checklist and which you use it in all of your audits. You can just upload it on the chat GPT. Every time you put the data, every time you put the evidences there, you can just ask him to verify the evidences against those points and it will get that done for you. To summarize our previous one, we can say that custom GPTs, when you have a well-defined task or workflow that you want to supercharge with AI, especially if something you do repeatedly or something that benefits from having internal knowledge loaded into AI. The result can be dramatic in times, but also it will save a lot of your times. We will see this with an example. First, we will just go through on how to build a chat GPT, custom GPT on chat GPT. Then we will see a we will practically develop a chat GPT. So you guys can also have a knowledge on how to create that. So first is you have to adjust the AI parameters. You have to give them a specific set of instructions. Next is the fine tuning of the responses. When you are creating a chat GPT, you will also have you can test it in real time and you can tune the instructions as and when required. You can also control the interaction style. You can say it should be always be formal or whatever, however you want the responses to be. So basically, you have to define your objective, you have to configure the behavior, you have to add the knowledge base, and you have to tune and deploy it. So now we will create a custom GPT on ChatGPT so you guys can have a hands-on experience on that. So first, you are required to have an enterprise or a plus version of ChatGPT for that. Here you have a sidebar where you have the option for GPTs. You can simply go on explore. Once you go on explore, you can see a number of custom GPTs made by different peoples. You can see the trending one, you can see the featured one. They have been categorized as uh, writing, productivity, research as well. For creating your own GPT, you will see an option here which is a create button. You can simply go on that create button. Here you have two options. One is create, one is configure. So create is basically wherein you provide general instructions to it and then it will tune itself to that. Next is configure, wherein you have to be very specific with the instructions, with the knowledge base, with the capabilities, everything. You have the control to set that. In create, you do not need to do anything. You can just simply write what you want exactly, and it will get that done for you in the configuration section itself. Before we move on to next, before we actually create a custom GPT, I would like to invite any of your queries, anything you want to know before we move on to creating a custom GPT. So no one, could we move on? So creating a custom GPT, as I said, that you have two panels here. One is basically create and configure, and another one is to test the output of how you want, whether the output is in accordance with how you want it. We will do with a configure section. So here we are making a checklist based audit GPT, wherein we have a risk control matrix in which the risk controls and the checkpoints have been defined. We will just upload it here. We will provide him the instructions and we will see how the output comes. To save our time, I already have the instructions been written. I'll just show you for quick references. So I have told that you are an IT audit GPT and audit assistant, executing audit procedures based on the RCM and process-wise evidences folders provided by the users. I will be providing our RCM in the knowledge section. So based on that, the GPT will identify the process name, sub-process risk, accepted control testing steps. For each of the process, it will explain the risk, display the expected controls, walk through, accept evidences, evaluate the evidences, determine whether the control is passed or failed, generate an exception or recommendation, and produce an audit summary. So it will generate a control testing report, exception, recommendation. We have just provided some general behaviors wherein it will evaluate only the evidences that are provided. It will not create evidences imaginary. It would not refer to outdated data. Always professional tone for our audit observations, structured, consistent format, and never skip any step from the RCM. We will just name it as audit GPT. And we will upload the RCM here. Now you can also add a description to it. You can upload a photo also. It has an option of using Dell AI for image generation. You can add conversation starters here. So users can just select the conversation starters. You can also use the recommend the model that it will use by default. So you can use 5 Pro, 5 Thinking, 5.1, 5.1 Thinking. We'll just keep it as no recommended model here. Capabilities you can define whether it should have the option to web search for canvas, image generation, code interpreter. Code interpreter, we have to turn it on because basis that only it will be able to read the Excel files. We can turn off the web search here. We can turn off image generation. We can also create new action. Okay, we have some issue. We will just do it again once. RCM GPT. I'll paste the instructions here and I'll upload the file. So once the draft is completed, you will see a create button coming here. We can just test it here. Let's suppose as per our RCM, we have process, information security policies and governance. I have my data organized here and I just go to IS policy. I will upload all of these files here and I'll write that test the controls against the process information security. So it will provide a detailed control testing report. So process tested, it will show uh, these are the control objectives. These are the evidences provided, which is correct. Expected control as per RCM. Organization shall maintain an information security policy approved by board. So I have total four controls in my IS policy and governance section, which are one, two, three, four. It will test it. So first is verify the existence of approved IS policy. So it will also it will see the version history. It will say that okay, board of directors, it is approved by board of directors. This is the approval date. So the approved IS policy is there. It will say the control is passed. Second is verify whether the IS policy is reviewed annually. So as the policy was last reviewed in 2022, which we can also see it here. So it was last approved in 2022. No evidence has been provided for 2023 or later on. Since today control testing has been done as of today, absence of latest review. So it will say the control is failed. Next is verify the existence of governance structure. So whatever it has seen in that policy, it will just state it. So IS policy page number 4 to 7 contains governance framework, defined roles, all of it. We can just go and cross check it here once. So it has the organization structure, it has the ISC structure, it has roles and responsibility defined as well. Verify whether the committee meets. So because I had only provided it with 1 minutes of meetings, so it fails the controls saying the insufficient frequency evidences. So evidences has not been uploaded properly. And now it provides us a summary of how the controls it has tested and the remarks, exceptions that have been identified, and the recommendations. Overall result, it will, it is based on all the controls that has been verified. So if you feel that okay, the response is not up to how you want it, you can just change the instructions here. Accordingly, the response will be updated. And if you do not want to provide it with the instructions, you can always go with the create section. If we just create it here, see, I have the option to either I want it for my organization, I want it invite only, or I want to host it on GPT store. So I'll just keep it invite only for time being. Once it is done, we can see it here. See, now once the GPT is created, you can also choose the models that you want the GPT to be answering with. You have the option to upload the files here. We will test some more controls for getting our hands on this. Let's suppose we test control for capacity planning. I'll just upload the data here and I'll write that verify the control for process. It is very important to note that whatever data you uploaded here or in the knowledge base is being approved by your organization, or you have the appropriate authority, appropriate permissions from the data owner to upload them. Okay, it has some issue with the Excel file that we have provided. we can quickly go and we can edit the GPT here, and we can check the issues with that as well. So basically, this is how a custom GPT works, wherein you can, provide it with the knowledge base, and it will answer accordingly, according to the knowledge that you have provided to it. You can upload multiple files here as well. So you can also upload some checklists of your own checklists here for different areas. Like this was a generic RCM, maybe you can upload it to a specific area, and you can test the controls against that. Moving on to next. So we have already gone through this knowledge base features. You can upload relevant documents. You can integrate external data sources and expand the AI understanding. In the instructions, you can also provide a link to the websites that you want to refer to specifically. Before we move on to tips for tuning, uh, based on the session till we have reached till now, if you guys have any inputs on that, if you guys have any queries on that, we are happy to take that.
Yeah, I have one quick question, Kush.
Yeah,
You just mentioned about the approval. Like if your organization doesn't approve to upload any of the documents to ChatGPT, so should we go
yeah.
back to the network again?
Sorry, can you just come again?
Yeah, if your organization doesn't approve to upload any document to ChatGPT, like that's what you did, right? So,
Yeah.
what is an alternate? Like, do we need to go back again, like what we used to do for like manual processing, or maybe is there any other alternate?
Yeah, so I will tell you actually, when you use an enterprise version or when you use a plus version of ChatGPT, they generally do not use your data for training their model. On the other hand, when you are using a free version of ChatGPT, all the data that you upload is being used for training the model. So you can tell your organization or tell the data owner that the data you are going to upload is never going to be used in training the models. So I guess that is one of the things which you can do. And ChatGPT also clearly states that they do not use your data.
Well, thank you. And then the second question comes from the same logic. If we are using an automate this thing that seems very effective and very fast, instead of multiple IT auditors, they probably may hire just one auditor because it's faster and maybe it we can lose the job. Like there would be a less demand for the IT auditor then if we are using ChatGPT. You know what I
So
mean?
yeah, yeah, I get it. I get it. So you are saying that this will, the multiple people that are doing the same job, it will handle that alone, right? So I will tell you. So generally, this AI, whatever Gen AI they are in the market, you should be using them to enhance your productivity, not thinking them as that they are alternative to what you are doing. You should be using them to enhance your productivity accordingly. So as you can see now, it gives us a comprehensive report. Based on that, for maybe a few times you will be cross verifying that okay, whatever the output is given by GPT is correct. Basis that okay, once you get the confidence that okay, the output is correct, you can you are saving your time of testing those controls. Basic policies, you have to go, you have to search for the keywords. All of this time you are saving for yourself. You can take more things up during that time.
Okay, got it. Thank you.
Yeah. So moving on to is tips for tuning. So some tips for tuning the custom GPT is that you should be specific and explicit with the information that you are providing. The quality of the GPT output is heavily dependent on the system instructions that you provide. You should be making them very detailed and unambiguous. Tell the GPT what scope it has and what is the format of answer. As you already saw, I provided it the specific set of instructions that you have to verify this, you have to see for this, you have to see the process, you have to see the risk, you have to do the control testing. I also specified that avoid outdated datas. So you have to be specific with what what thing you want it to do for you. Second is leverage the knowledge base wisely. If you have uploaded the documents, ensure they are relevant, name them clearly and concise citations. So in my RCM, I had a column for risk, I had the column for control, I had a column for process and sub-process name. All of those I have clearly given it in the instruction section. I have clearly cited what columns it has to refer to. So if you want the GPT to stick strictly to the reference material for factual accuracy, considering enabling a reference only mode, like you can say that refer only to the file that is provided. You can turn off the web search for that. So it will only go through the file that you have provided. Also, the GPT can only base the answers on what in those files are there. So, you have to make sure that the file contains everything comprehensively that you require for getting that specific task done. Next is testing realistic scenarios and edge cases. So, you should not just test the GPTs on, like generic things. You should be testing it with really specific tasks. Try to break your GPT by asking unusual but possible questions. So how much tuning you need in that. This helps you ensure that it handles unexpected inputs gracefully. For example, ask your audit GPT what it would do if some checklist item is not applicable. So you will know that what type of output you are going to get. You can also, ask your GPT not to guess on things. Let's suppose if a specific item is not available, as I have clearly provided the instructions, like not to go beyond the RCM, also not to interpret imaginary data. So the more specific you will be with your instructions, the more realistic testing you will do, the more you will know how much you want to tune your GPT to. Next is ensuring compliance and privacy. So for InfoSec audience, this is critical. Remember that whatever instructions and data you put into custom GPT could be seen by anyone who is using that GPT. So do not include confidential data or sensitive information in those GPTs or prompt or uploaded file unless the usage is strictly controlled. For internal company GPTs, it means you should treat them as you would to any of your internal tools. Only share with the authorized person and avoid hard coding secrets or personal data in the prompts. Though OpenAI does give the assurance that they do not use the data for training their model, but you should still follow your organization policies. If your GPT handles sensitive user inputs, make sure everyone is aware of what not to do. You have to train the users to use the Gen AI effectively and responsibly. Next is monitor and refine continuously. Building a GPT isn't a one day task. Once, just a sec. So, user interaction might reveal new requirements or corner cases. Maybe after deploying your checklist GPT, you find users asking for additional sections that weren't in the original instructions. So, you should take those feedback and update the GPT. OpenAI allows you to edit your GPT anytime and you can resave it. Also, keep an eye on whether the model's performance changes with the updates. Regularly review the output quality and the factualness that they have been provided. If you notice any drift in that, you should reinforce the instructions accordingly. You should tune it accordingly. Next is staying within the usage policies. While customizing, remember that OpenAI usage policies still apply to GPT. For example, it won't produce disallowed contents if you try to instruct it. If your GPT is meant to say assist you in penetration testing, be careful with the phrase and instruction is not abusive to anyone. When sharing GPTs publicly, OpenAI will review them and block if there is any violation. So keep it ethical and legal. By following these best practices, you will create a custom GPT that is effective, reliable, and safe. Now we will, just go through some of the use cases in compliance section. So one is checklist based audits and compliance. As we just saw a while back, you can upload the RCM. You can automate the audit checklist for standards like ISO, PCI, internal policies. It will verify step by step, ensuring nothing is skipped. At the end, it can generate compliance gap summaries as we have seen right now, making it useful across the different departments. Next is policy Q&A or legal standard assistant. So any policies or any law or any of the circular, if we have to go through, we have to go through each and every word, or we have to go through all of the section to understand that. But however, if you use custom GPT for that, mm, uh, this GPT will do it for you. It will go through all the document. It will provide you with the relevant information along with the citation of from where it got that information for you. During our practical GPT, we saw that from the IS policy, it also stated that the section is from page 4 to 7, and we have checked that it was in accordance to how we wanted it. So I personally feel that this policy Q&A or a legal standard assistant is far useful in our industry. We don't have to go through every circular. We don't have to search for all of the circulars. We can simply, give the reference to this, we give the reference to that website in the instructions, and it will follow those instructions and will get it done for us. I personally feel that having a legal or standard assistant is very helpful for us. Next is report generation or formatting. So not all use cases are Q&A. Some involve content creation in consistent format. For example, an organization might have a standard template for a weekly status update or a risk assessment report. Custom GPT can set up the generate can set up a custom GPT can be set up to generate this report for you. The job description we discussed earlier is a prime example in HR. So let's suppose HR have n number of resumes for a single JD. It can just upload that JD and it can say that from this all of this candidates, uh, filter out the most suitable candidates. So that can be one of the use cases. Next is secure coding and code assistant review. So for developers, you might consider GPT as act as a code review or an auditor. For instance, a secure code GPT would configure in a company's secure coding guidelines and can be configured along with the company's secure coding practices and OAuth secure coding practices. Developers can paste a snippet of their code and GPT will review it, and in case of any inconsistencies or in case it find any security issues, it can highlight. So next is security incident response systems, uh, and threat intelligence and analysis bot. So these are some of the use cases that we have come across when we see people using custom GPTs. You you working in your own fields, you might have your own set of things which you need to do repeatedly, and you might have your own idea of creating that. So I would encourage every one of you to create custom GPTs and share your ideas with us as well.
Yeah, perfect. So, thank you so much, Kush, for the insights on the custom GPT. The way you have explained us the use case, I think it demonstrate the process how we can use the chat gpt in a real life. So the objective here is, again, I just want to emphasize the increasing the effectiveness of the people, like how they do the work. So in one of the example, the way you have mentioned that how we can use that chat custom gpt for the purpose of an evidence review. So for example, guys, when we are getting an audit evidences in a bulk, so first review can be performed by this GPT. Always, like, whenever you use any Gen AI tool, whenever you use any AI tool, so the human overview is must, like it is required. It can, like, the GPT or any other AI tool is not a replacement of human. So even when you use those kind of a tool, human oversight is must, I would say. But yeah, at least it can reduce a lot of your work. Like, you need not to spend the time or effort to review those entire
Right, right.
evidences,
It
correct?
will improve the efficiency. Like one of the user had the query that, the company will hire one auditor and it will use GPT. So I
Correct.
guess that will not be the case. It will improve your efficiency for, doing your task.
Perfect. Perfect. So likewise, you can think about what all customer GPTs you can create based on your day-to-day use cases, and you can enhance your efficiency. You can do your work, I think, in more effective and efficient manner. So that was the entire agenda of having this webinar, so that we can introduce custom GPT sections to all of you. Like, all of you must be using the Gen AI tool, or you must be doing a direct prompt engineering where you are giving them a prompt and getting your resolutions and doing a brainstorming using the prompt. But yeah, there is also a custom GPT which you can use. I'll also give you one more example. Like, I've seen a couple of people are using that Gen AI for making a post for their LinkedIn, for their marketing, correct? Like, lot of companies are also using it for the purpose of making the marketing headlines, the one which you get on the notifications, correct? So they use those kind of a GPTs, only custom GPTs, where they are, giving them their past data, that okay, this is something which we have posted till now, and this is our style of posting, this is our this is our purpose. So they define it very well, and they use it. And whenever they are using it day to day basis, as rightly mentioned by Kush as well, that it is very important that we have to do a regular tuning of that GPT. So whatever output is coming, if we feel that it is not as per the expectations, so we can always fine tune that output.
Yeah, yeah. So I would like to summarize these sessions. So custom GPTs represent a significant step forward on how we leverage things on AI, on any of the Gen AI for our specialized task. This custom GPT is basically, you have a personalized AI assistant that you configure it according to how you want, the tone it answers to, the way it interprets things for you. So it is a kind of personalized assistant for you. You have the power to mold that. You do not require any coding in that. You can clearly state the instructions. You can, even if you don't feel like ki your instructions are proper, you can just use the create section on the other side, wherein just like a chat section, you can write what you want and it will get it done for you. And the
Understood.
efforts, you only have to put that efforts, of creating that much effort once only. The productivity will be enhanced in multiples.
Understood. Perfect. Perfect. So thank you so much, guys, for attending this webinar. Okay, and uh, I have also provided you a link for the feedback. Just complete a feedback form and to generate the CP certificate. Once you fill the feedback form, we'll also be sending you the CP certificate. Just wanted to take some query. Push it is there in the chat
Yeah,
section.
yeah,
At
yeah.
at what
So,
point? Yeah, if you
so at
want.
what point do you use GPT to produce report? Because a firm, Deloitte, I guess, was fined recently for
Yeah.
using AI to generate audit report. Is it when you commercialize the route that is prohibited? So Basically, when the uh, as Mr. Sachin said, that you also have to fact check that. You don't have to completely rely on that. That okay, once you gave the job to the GPT and it will get it done for you. You have to fact check the thing. You have to see how efficient the thing, the output was, and how much of your work is being reduced due to that. If the fact stated by the GPT, or if it just interprets a number of things, it just get imaginary data into it, and it will give you output which makes your work more hectic. You have to now check everything, you have to change everything. That does not make sense. Then you always have
Perfect.
to fact check it.
Yeah, so perfect. So the answer here is what, that even if you are using it for the purpose of whatever task, whether it is generation of report, review of policy process, review of evidences, the human oversight is must. Like even if you
Yeah,
will see the lot of AI regulations, lot of AI standard 42001, they clearly states that whatever things which is generated from a AI tool has to be reviewed by a human. So there is a concept of human in the loop. So when you are using it for the purpose of some critical task, then you keep human in the loop. You can't ignore that part.
yeah,
Otherwise,
you can't rely completely on the output of given by Gen AI.
correct. Otherwise, you will face such kind of actions if you are completely relying it and completely using it independently. Perfect. So I hope that answers your query. If you can just give us a confirmations. Yeah.
We are taking up some more queries as well if you guys have any.
Perfect. Yeah, guys, feel free to ask your queries and doubt.
I have another quick question. You use ChatGPT, so you always mention like we have to verify the human verification is also required. So is there a way like we can use another Gen AI tool and compare the results with those two ChatGPT results and the other AI tool results and
You
verify
can
whether
you can do it. So everyone have their own interpretation, and the output given by this GPT will be based on the set of instruction. Let's suppose you have one custom GPT. You have made a custom GPT based on the instructions you have provided. Now you also have to provide the same instruction to another Gen AI and then see the output. The output will obviously differ, and you still cannot rely on the Gen AI. So let's suppose you give the same input to three Gen AIs and you have an output. Still you have to verify it once. You have to get your confirmance on that okay, the output is correct and how you want. How do you know the accuracy of output? We can do fact checks and do sample checks, but the point is that we are moving towards large chunk of processing using GPT. Difficult to do cross checking of outputs.
Great, got it. Thanks.
So your query is basically, at what point do you, have to, till what point do you have to fact check, right? So hallucination it won't do because, we have already stated that you do not have to use imaginary data. You do not have to go beyond the RCM, and you do not have to, some set of instructions that have already been provided to it. So that case won't be there. Moving on to your the first query was, chunk of processing using GPTs. So you can fact check things, like the most important thing that you feel, but you cannot still completely rely on that. It will enhance your productivity of the facts that have been stated. You don't have to go and search for them specifically. It has already searched for them, and basis that it has provided you the output. So you can only check those citations that okay, whatever stated is correct. Yeah, we Vuyani, you have some query.
I think someone has raised a hand, and if you have any query doubt, you can unmute and speak. Uh, I think okay, guys, fine. So just complete a feedback form, guys. Thank you so much for your time, and bye bye. Take care. We'll see you in some other webinar. Okay. Thank you for your time. Thank you so much, Kush, for the session. Yeah.
Okay, we have one more query. We'll just take
Yeah.
it
Yeah,
aside.
please take that.
Are there any tips to create a precise prompt instructions we can give to perform a certain task via creating an agent? I'm new to this. So, Shrija, you can use the create section. As while I was presenting, I have shown that there is a create section as well, and create section works just like your chat section. You can just write down that okay, I want the GPT to do this, and it will automatically frame the precise prompt instruction into that. So you do not have to go on the configure section and again write down the instructions. Once in the create section, you have written it down like a para or right, like what you want, it will get it done for you. And you are planning to create a daily identify newly published security news. So I would suggest that you provide the GPT with some of the website links and tell it not to go beyond those links. So I guess it will be okay for you.
Yeah, and for this also, Srija, like there are certain this available like. There are some website on a GitHub also, which can provide and which can solve this task. Like on that Git, they already have a repo of more than 400 website where they search those websites and provides the security news. So if you need that, I think one of the such link I am aware about it. So you can ping me. I'll share you that, which can help you to see the security news. So someone has already compiled that on a GitHub, and it is publicly available repo. I'll share you if you need it. Yeah, perfect, great. Okay, guys. So thank you so much. Thank you so much for your time. See you. Bye bye. Take care. Yeah.
Thank you very much.